many of your PTWs did you bring today?
I have 4. Oh, well, a lot of the guys in there were saying that the Milsim guys aren't calling their hits fast enough.
You got to phone a friend, ask the audience, 50-50.
And it's not like we're taking 3 business days to be like,
Dave has like 12 PTWs.
I do not have 12.
Get your jokes out of the way now.
No, I'm going to let you finish.
Okay.
Remember when Evic made the video? And
Mo guns.
How many hours do you think you spend just cleaning your Systemas a year? 'Cause that's like 102.
200, yeah.
That's like 102 Systemas.
It doesn't...
You died 3 times in a row. You're pulling your martyrdom grenade.
And we traded instantly after the trade. Immediately went up to me like that's a trade. Like, you're going to call that, right? Like
yeah, man.
Bro, for all of your 312 Systemas. ASMR, you ready?
Yeah. Keep this. Your mic's down.
You've disabled me.
We've censored you. You have no voice now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Zulu 24 podcast. As always, I'm joined with Anthony from Antec Chairsoft Studios, Jordan from Zulu Outdoor, and we never forget ever about the snack bar. They sell snacks. Well, we overloaded the cringe meter by doing a gear breakdown on our last one, so we figured we might as well double down and talk about the guns that we use.
The Airsoft replicas.
Yeah, whatever. Or this is never going to see the light of day. It's never going to get monetized or anything, so who cares?
Yeah.
Well, that's Super Milsim.
Yeah, Super Milsim.
We're doing this so we never have to do it again.
Yeah, you just got to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
It's like it's a stepping stone.
So that when someone says, why don't you do a breakdown of your guys' guns? We go, we did. It was cringe. We're not doing it again.
Mine would never change, too, so there's no point in doing me twice.
Yeah.
It would just never
You'll
change.
find out very quickly all of my gun setups boil down to the same 3 things.
Yeah.
Well, we're breaking down our guns. We're going to be breaking down Jordan's attachments on his gun.
Yeah.
Because he has every single attachment. What attachments do you want? Yes. That's your gun right now. It is the stock photo used back in the day when we would tell airsofters how not to set up their gun. And now you've reverted back to putting every single attachment known to man.
And I love that gun.
Yeah, well, to each their own. Anthony, start us off.
All right, so I'll just show my mains. 416. The matching lower is in the shop on another 416, but this upper and the other lower has been in the Zulu family for like over a decade.
Yeah.
This was Dave's. This was your 416. And then you sold it to somebody. And then years later, I bought like just the body of it for like a steal. And I have this 416. It's a VFC. And I like them a lot. Right now, it's just like a brushless build. This was one of the test beds I used for when I was playing middleman with RDX and Jeftron to get the Jeftron firmware to communicate with the boss. So this is boss compatible. I can throw my boss on it. I have, some attachments on it. They're all repros of real things, and they work for Airsoft, and who cares? The sling is made by Zulu Outdoor. It's their Rhodesian brushstroke, very based sling. I like it a lot. Mainly, that's my AEG. I have a bunch of VFCs, and really I just care about having lowers that work really well, and then all my uppers, they just kind of swap around. So this is my Kythera. So the lower is Kythera, but any VFC upper, I could take the VFC upper from that 416, throw it on here. Now it's a Kythera. This is just like basic SOP mod build, carry handle, basic stuff. This is the NGRS MP5. If you are going to attend a Zulu event that has a SMG class, if you get a stock TM NGRS MP5, it is perfectly compliant for the SMG class. FPS, rate of fire, all of that, like out of the box, good to go. It shoots very accurate out of the box without upgrades, and it's just beautiful. It jiggles in my shoulder when I shoot it, and I like it very much. I get to do the whole manual of arms and do the HK slap when I reload it because the MOSFET makes it not shoot when it's empty. It's very cool. And J-Stocks, J-stocks are very cool. I like it a lot. And here's my featherweight. This is my test bed for all the featherweight products that I make, whether if I sell them currently or if they're not up on the website yet, but I don't get to have nice things. I started chopping it, chop the handguard down. I'm going to chop the barrel down to 10 inches. It's going to have a selector switch on it eventually. And I'm going to put a Picatinny stock adapter on it so I can put SMG stocks. And it's going to be a cursed little select fire LMG. And it has a Polar Star F2. It's HPA'd. I think it's good to have at least one LMG that slaps and shoots really well. And then for pistols, just because there's not much to talk about with pistols, people ask me what pistols they should get. They ask about upgrading their pistols, and I tell them straight up, I hardly ever use a pistol. And when I do, I just want something that is CO2 that I can get replacement parts for. It will fire when I shoot it. I don't care about range or accuracy on my pistol because I'll never use it outside of a certain distance. There's the VFC Glock. It's the Spartan license one. So basically, it's the Glock 17 Gen 4 internals that will run CO2, just crammed inside of a Glock 19. That's the only significant thing with these Spartan licensed Glocks. And it just works until it breaks. And then I replace the blowback housing like once every few months. And then this is a great one. So my wife got me this as a gift a while ago. And we talked about, is it normie to etch your kills on your gun? And this is the revolver that I have etched my kills into early on in my airsoft career.
Oh my God.
Yep. Yeah, there it is.
You are a normie.
I put the fake wooden grip on because I lost the rubber grip at Benghazi. But this is the one that I handed Smiggy to point at GRS during the Jumbo meet. And you buy these new, right? And they shoot like 500 FPS. But actually the shells, they sell low power shells now, which will actually make it like a green tag. But back in the day, we didn't have that. So I took like those Bic pens, and I would take the ink cartridge, and I would take the part of the tube that didn't have ink in it, and I'd cut it off, and I'd Teflon tape it and jam it in the shell, and that would bring the FPS down to like 270. And yeah.
We were talking about this recently.
So then I was able to be a boomer FUD. This has been my most reliable airsoft handgun ever because it fires when I pull the trigger, and range does not matter. It does not matter that it doesn't have a hop up. It's like emergency, clearing rooms. Yeah.
Call of Duty vibes.
It just works. And you only need 6 shots. Hell, sometimes you only need 1, brother. And then here's some random like Amazon Bulldog holster for it. It'll mount onto different kit. And I have other guns, but honestly, these are the ones I use. You'd think the tech would have a lot more guns and a lot cooler guns, but I don't get to have nice things. I work on other people's stuff.
Yeah,
not really my own.
It's the old adage, just the cobbler's kids go without shoes. Like that's because they're too busy building everybody else's shoes.
Can't have your cake and eat it too.
I like cake.
Here's my water bottle.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Can't turn the beep off on that.
Yeah, right on. Well, I'm a dinosaur.
How many of your PTWs did you bring today?
Well, this is just the one I'm using.
Dave has like 12 PTWs.
I do not have 12. I have 4. It's different.
Whoa, I thought it was 5. TW5.
Oh, yep, it's 5. I like the PTW platform, and I know there's a lot of, especially now, like the PTW doesn't really have any advantage anymore. Back in 2008, when every other gun was poo-poo garbage, you would have had a distinct advantage over everybody. Today, that's just not the case. I mean, you can get a regular AEG to shoot just as well. The difference is you just pay the money up front. So you pay the $1,500 and if it's brand new, and you get a gun that shoots better than 94% of guns on the market. And I know how to work on them. They're easy to work on them. The gearbox is easy. I have used them for so long that I can hear problems happening just by the sound it makes when it shoots. I don't know what it's called, but I know the sound it makes.
It is one of the most satisfying sounds.
Yeah, a healthy PTW has a very efficient sound. And even in high-end AEGs, when I shoot them, it's like it rattles my teeth. They're gross. to listen to. But this just sounds like it's
smooth.
It's smooth. It's efficient. Like in a healthy PTW. A lot of people buy these things with the same mentality as AEGs. So they're like, oh, we'll buy these upgrade parts. Don't.
No.
The only thing that you should put in this gun is Systema stuff. All the HAO, all this other Chinese garbage. And of course, I can hear the typing. Oh, but I bought
My
Alpha
custom
parts.
HAL receiver set.
You are delusional, and you're just wrecking the perfect system that was already developed.
Especially when you have like 13 Systemas, you get a feel for how it should sound and how it should perform.
Especially after like the 18th one, you can hear the different gear ratios.
Yeah, Dave has like 45 PTWs.
That's not even remotely true. But I will say this: each PTW does have its own personality and its own optimal sound. Like Mario's always sounded a little bit different than mine, and mine sounded a little bit different than Kevin's. Well, Kevin's never fucking worked, but
No, but even mine sounded vastly different from yours.
Sure.
We had the same cylinder and the same motor.
but there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of other things that go into that. It is a gun that requires a lot of maintenance. It's a Ferrari. The brake pads on a Ferrari are probably expensive. That's the same thing with this gun.
Yeah.
Everything about this is expensive. However, if you take care of it and maintain it, they last a long time. I mean, my original PTW, I still have, and it still works. And I got that in 2011, 2012, and I ran the fuck out of it.
The only reason you switched is because you got the Infinity kit.
That's it. Yeah. So this gun has the Infinity kit in it. It's pretty snazzy. The motor and everything is in the gearbox. So like I can put whatever pistol grip I want on there because there's no motor. There's no motor in the pistol grip. It's all in the gearbox. I don't know what kind of magic Japanese shit they put in there, but
It's cool.
they fit a motor in there.
And it's a brushless motor.
It's brushless. It also does like pre-cocking. So, I mean, the trigger response is instantaneous.
Yeah, the first time I heard Zach's with the Infinity kit in it, I thought it was a Polar Star.
Yeah. It sounds like the smoothest shimmed AEG you would ever shoot, which is like not usually what Systemas sound like with the traditional motor. Yeah. They're just, the gears are designed differently. They're going to have a different sound when they spin.
But yeah, so it's got the Infinity kit in there, which is absolutely an improvement over their original system. It's expensive.
Yeah.
Your other Systemas don't have that kit.
No.
So it makes sense that like for your 87th Systema, you were like, I want to get something a little different.
Yes.
The Infinity kit in it.
But I don't know if it would be worth it for somebody to buy a brand new Systema and the Infinity kit.
No.
It's just like $3,000.
I think-
You're looking at like $3,000.
I think one of those websites that Dylan was looking at for the Car 15 upper, they sell an already assembled Systema with the Infinity kit.
Is it like $2,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, like the Infinity kit by itself is like what, $1,200?
Yeah.
And a brand new Systema is $1,500.
Yeah.
So if they're assembling it and putting the Infinity kit in it and then just keeping the old parts to resell them as brand new parts, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, those old gearboxes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're worth money.
I have enough spare parts to fix my other gun twice, like completely gut it twice.
You kind of have to get Systemas used.
Which is unfortunate because what's happening is because it's a Ferrari, because it requires so much maintenance, like a lot of people don't do that. They treat it like an AEG. You can throw that in a closet for a year and a half, pull it out, and it works. It's just not the case with these. Like on my old gearbox, I would open the gearbox and clean with Cera grease once a month. I would clean the cylinder basically 2 weeks. 2 weeks was like max. Like if I played both days, 2 weeks you get away with.
I would clean my cylinder like once every 3 months.
Yeah, you got to. So the cylinder there's a lot of funky physics going on inside there, and a lot of people attribute the feeding issues with mag springs and all this shit.
It's the cylinder.
How many hours do you think you spend just cleaning your Systemas a year?
Oh,
Because that's like 102.
200. Yeah,
That's like 102 Systemas.
it doesn't. It doesn't take. It doesn't because of the superior design. It does not take long to disassemble this gun, clean it, put it back together. I'm talking 15-minute stops, and I'm talking taking springs out, swings, everything. I do have a PDI in a barrel 601, and it's amazing. And then the boss unit because I can't play without it because it's crack cocaine.
Yeah.
And that's it. And just a real EOTech on the top. The only thing that's not on this gun that usually is on this gun is a white light, and I don't run a pressure pad because I've had too many experiences where, you sling your gun and the white light or the pressure pad hits something, and boom, you just flashed a white light.
Yeah.
So the white light I do run is just rear button push, very tactile. I don't run a laser because you don't need it. I co-witness through the EOTech. And that's how I run. Sling I bought here. I don't know what the sling is.
It's a Haley Strategics.
Haley Spring.
You're going to have to get 249 boss units, so you have one for all 250 Systemas you have.
You're right. But yeah, that's it, man. I'm a dinosaur. Once I find something that works, I kind of stick with it. And this thing has been fantastic the whole time.
Sooner or later, Dave's going to get a Scar H.
Nah, maybe. I might be out of that phase. I don't know.
You asked me to build you an AEG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because with the introduction of the boss system, I can't hear the gun. So it doesn't matter to me anymore as long as it shoots straight. As long as there's not a lot of like trigger take up or delay or anything like that.
And what's the reason for that, though, if your Systema works? Like just
to have it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an option.
Yeah.
Also, if I threw it off a bridge, I wouldn't care, because it's an AEG and it's subpar. Especially for your builds. I would just fucking run it over the car.
Antech's not that based. Antech's...
Of course, I'd have to wait 3 years to get it, so...
No, we're speeding things up.
Yeah?
We're speeding things up. No, we really are.
Cutting corners? That's how I was.
No, not cutting corners. More people. So Alex is doing good.
Yeah.
He's doing good. Yeah.
And yeah, so it's the only other thing too that I use is a CAC suppressor with a A-stack. Yeah, here, this exact thing.
Yeah.
So for night games, we do require tracer units, and that's what I run. It makes the gun really long.
Yep.
But I'm a big boy and I can handle it.
A 14.5-inch barrel with a suppressor.
Yeah. It is what it is. It's airsoft.
So for all of your 312 Systemas, the AEG Magwell adapter.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I always forget about that.
So
yeah.
do any of them still use like normal PTW mags, or
yes? So
you just got an AEG?
All of my guns can still use PTW mags. This one, this is the first one that I could go full auto with those mags. There's some magic in there that's happening, but I've never really had too many problems. A lot of people have problems with mags, and again, you got to clean them. You got to break them in. You got to lube them, and then you got to clean them. And it's a lot of maintenance. So if you keep up with the maintenance, dude, the thing works. The problem is the used market right now. You're not really buying a Systema. You're buying somebody else's problem, and they're not going to sit there. They don't have the know-how. They haven't put the time in. They don't even know what that gun's supposed to sound like. It's not until you really dive into a gun 2-3 years of hearing it shoot over and over again where you know where you should be. And again, you can literally hear problems happening before they actually happen. And that's happened with pistons and sector gears. You can hear it. It's wild. I don't know how to describe it. Obviously, that's out the window now because
especially when you shoot like 431 Systemas, like you just know.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my down and dirty, man. I really don't need too much. It's airsoft.
Yeah. It's a lot of Systemas.
It's a lot of systems.
He's got a different Systema for every day of the year.
Jesus. Not true.
You are a big Systema.
Oh my God.
You're up, Jordan.
Oh boy.
Yeah, dude.
Hold on. Let me grab that thing.
We're doing this so we never have to do it again.
Yeah. There's none of us enjoyed the gear review.
Yeah.
It just felt wrong.
Yeah, it felt all kinds of
It felt like pushing a shit down a fucking shower drain, just like mashing it with your toes.
Okay, so this is this. Get your jokes out of the way now.
No. I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna hit it.
Remember when Evic made the video?
When they put guns.
Yeah, when they put all the attachments on they had like a grenade launcher on each rail on the quad rail.
Yes. So this is my Polar Star Kythera. Fun fact, this is the gun that Anthony based all of the KGSs off of. Mine was the first.
I'd say so, yeah.
And because of that, I love this gun to death. It is the exact thing I wanted out of Airsoft. It's a mechanical HPA engine that's super consistent. Anthony's got it within plus or minus 2 FPS per shot. I have a really fancy hop up and barrel in it. But I'm a hyper nerd and like different guns from different video games. So I have a bunch of different uppers because it's a VFC base. So right now it looks like a Block 2 FSP build. I got a 416 upper in front of me. I got another 416 upper over there on my girlfriend's gun. There's an M16 upper underneath my desk, shit like that. But all of my guns boil down to the same 3 attachment choices. And Tyler will be in the comments section going, fire setup, bro, because I used to call it a fire setup. A Surefire M600 with a PEC 15 and some kind of magnified optic that has an offset red dot. So right now I've got a Trijicon ACOG with a RMR up top. On that upper, I've got a 1:6 LPVO with a hollow sun, but I have to have some kind of magnified optic with a offset red dot. I just like that. I use it in video games. I use it in real life. I think it's the best setup you can do. I also have a Spectre DR sitting next to me. I'll throw that on every now and then. And yes, there is a thermal here because I need to have cheater vision. So I need to be able to see heat signatures at night.
How many attachments did you say you had?
So those are my big 3.
So I counted 8.
Yeah, so if we're counting every little thing.
You're missing the tactical spork on the muzzle.
Yeah, well, no, because it boils down to those 3 are the attachments that you're going to see on any gun I use. Some kind of magnified optic with a red dot and a light and laser. I did just throw the HRF magwell on here to see if it works well. The only thing I've had since I put it on there is that some of my favorite mags don't work now. Real weird. I threw the mag holder on the stock because I think it's funny, and you told me the original story about them, which I laughed about. And I have one of the original, I think this is RL Manufacturing M203 grips, so that the Bosch unit weight can be a little bit easier to manage. It's not just the Bosch unit. I have like 12 attachments on here, so it's pretty heavy. And I think that's all of them, unless we're going to count my pressure switch. Normally, I don't like the pressure switches, much the same reason as you do. That's why I have the Surefire tail cap that I can hit the button to turn it on. But with the Boss system, I need to have a pressure switch to hit. Yeah, I don't have a rear iron sight because I needed to back the ACOG up as far as I could. Also, iron sights and airsoft doesn't really fucking matter. Yeah. So go ahead, make all your jokes.
The only thing that trumps how many attachments you have on that gun is how many Systemas that Dave owns.
That's fair.
I was going to say how much scrim is on his helmet.
Yeah, because you maybe have like 611 attachments, and Dave has like 745.
Oh, and I
Systemas.
forgot. Yeah, I do like to have suppressors too. So this is my Knights Armament NT4.
You also run the Smoky Wolf too.
Yeah, so the Smoky Wolf will fit in that one. It'll also fit in, I have one of the B&T Rotex cans for the Grom 416 upper. The Smoky Wolf will fit in that. It won't fit in my Surefire suppressors. So like the RC2s, it won't fit in there. It will fit in those new PTS cans. I just haven't bought one yet because I don't have a need for it. Yeah, and like I said, Block 2 upper, 416 upper, another 416 over there. I got a bunch of different uppers just because depending on what day it is and what kit I'm wearing, I'll change it. But internally, it's always a Kythera with a really nice hop up and barrel build.
Okay, Jordan, how many times do you clean your barrel?
Oh, like once a month.
How often do you clean your barrel, Dave?
Once I start to notice deviation.
I never clean my barrels.
And you'll always yell at me to clean my barrel.
Well, you should. I don't get to have nice things.
And then handgun, GHK Glock 17, because I've had 2 or 3 of the VFC Glocks, and by the time I get done fixing them, over and over and over again, I could have just bought a GHK Glock, which I haven't had any real issues with. I have the all steel externals and internals. Just most people don't want to spend $500 on an airsoft pistol for it to still look like a Gen 3 Glock. I tried the VFC M17 for a while, and I broke every single one of those, so I just stopped using that. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I have the 19, the Glock 19.
You have the same one I have.
Yeah, and I don't even know where it's at right now. I think it's in my shed because that's how little I actually use it.
And then
I did upgrade this, so I cut out a little ramp on the side,
you're so
and
fucking
I
tactical.
stippled it so I can get a good purchase. Get a good purchase on there.
Yeah. And then for as many Systemas as Dave has, I also have that many GHK M4s, just all in parts except for like 2 of them. Because I like to use gas guns, and the problem is I can't put a Bosch unit on a gas gun yet. So
That's like an abusive relationship.
I love that thing to death.
But it loves me.
Yeah.
I deserve this.
God. Yeah,
See what I did this. I should have cooked dinner sooner.
I love my GHK M4s, but once I figure out how to use a Bosch unit with a gas gun, I will go back to using them.
It'll work.
Yeah, like
Easy peasy.
I'll probably make it tomorrow.
Cool. So this has been kind of a short one. This is just a little low down and dirty.
So I think it begs the question, like, do you need a super crazy airsoft gun to have fun playing airsoft? I'd say no.
No.
Yeah, look, listen.
Once you prestige,
Look, I still have a bone stock Syma AK over there. It's a super fun gun to use. Again, doesn't have a Bosch unit, which is why I'm not using it.
You don't need anything to play effectively.
You need iPro.
Yeah.
you need something that shoots BBs.
That's it. But
like,
that's
you make your own fun.
Yeah.
You know, like, is it true that if you buy a featherweight LMG out of the box, it's not going to really work 80% of the time? Yes.
Yeah.
100% true. If you want a featherweight M249 that shoots really well, you have to upgrade it. You have to change most of the internals. And now you have a working, really lightweight saw, and it's nice. And it's nice to have that. But like, it's not like I'm going to not have fun if I don't use it. Like, I don't get to have nice things. I appreciate that I can get more range with my upgraded builds than if I ran a stock build. I appreciate that I have more accuracy at that range, and it does help enjoy the game a little bit more to be effective at a longer distance. And, you know, I think that's true, but like,
I don't know.
Don't put the carriage in front of the horse.
I think if your skills, if you work on your soft skills, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like, I can appreciate, like, if we're trying to take Connex and we're on top of the hill, if you have somebody on the top of the hill that can actually suppress the Connex from that distance, it helps the whole team do maneuvers and stuff.
Yeah, and
but like, having a well-built airsoft gun is not going to make you a better airsofter.
oh my god, you're right. Those are blanks.
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah. That's a horse we've beaten, I think, quite a bit.
No, but the one thing I've learned in the last 12 months is that now that we have the boss system, I don't give a fuck about what gun it is.
No, you like your trigger reset.
Okay, that's fair. That's the gas gun mentality. But like, prime example, I used to have all the meme guns like the FAL and the MDR and the G28 and all these, like, they're cool guns and I use them in video games and I like them. I could get past the trigger reset thing. I need to have a mechanical trigger. Now I don't want to use them. So I started selling them off. Like, I got rid of my SCAR this weekend because I don't play with it. It looks hideous with a Bosch unit on it, and it's a optical trigger, so it sucks. Never going to play with it again. Yeah, like, once we got the Bosch units, though, I stopped going off and doing meme builds. That's the best way I could describe it. No more meme guns.
I feel pressured to play with my Bosch unit.
Why?
Yeah,
I feel like if I don't,
do it.
Oh, we're going to give you shit every time. But
yeah.
well, why aren't you using the Bosch unit?
Yeah. Because I can't fathom.
I forgot what it's like to play airsoft and be like, ooh, I actually want to try to get these guys out and try to do an objective.
Oh, no, I could still do that.
When I play with the boss, I'm just like, it's loud. I don't really care if I'm hitting anything. I'm just like, I ran out of ammo. I don't even know I ran out of ammo. I just keep shooting. And that's fun, but I don't know.
No, I still get into the game.
There's a blend in there somewhere.
Maybe if I just spend more money on attachments, maybe I'll get it back.
No, not really, because I have all these cool Somo gear packs and I never fucking use them. They're just there because it looks cool.
It does look cool. And that is most of airsoft.
99% looking cool.
That's why I got the wooden grip for the revolver instead of just getting the rubber looking one, even though it's fake wood.
It's the same reason I disassembled my GHK Glock to paint it sand tan so it looks like the Battlefield 3 Glock 17.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I did that.
I will say, if there's an attachment that I feel like I actually really want on an airsoft gun, it's like at least a red dot.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, at least a red dot.
like,
So a lot of people,
I don't care too much about a white light or like a PEC, because even at night, if I have a red dot that can get dim to where I can look at it through nods, yeah. If it's a no nods, yeah, I got to have a white light. I want a super bright one.
I personally believe you should have a white light on your gun if you're playing at night, not just for gameplay purposes, but for safety.
Sure. I hear the argument all the time because my cousin was he was getting into airsoft and bought a whole setup or whatever. And I asked him, I was like, hey, what kind of sight do you want? He's like, I'll just look over top, like paintball and watch where the BBs go. And I told him, I was like, yeah, but what about first round accuracy? A sight gives you first round accuracy. These guns are all accurate enough that you can sight it in. It's fairly reliable, right? If you're just looking over the top, where's that first round going? It's like that first round you need for the adjustment, the micro adjustment, whereas with the sight, you get that first round accuracy, And that's always been my argument is I want my first BB to go where I want it to go and not the fifth.
You can't always like track your BBs.
No.
Sometimes even during the day, if you're in the woods, if the sun is angled the right way and you're in a shaded environment, like you probably have a hard time seeing where your BBs are going.
Yeah.
And then as far as like zoom optics,
That's why I use them.
what I like about zoom optics is that it helps you spot people. I'm legitimately like I have color blindness.
Yeah.
Like not like everything's black and white and gray, but like, man, at a really long distance, if somebody's wearing a red armband or a blue armband, I see that there's a bright colored band on them, but it's genuinely hard for me to discern it until I can really zoom in on it and see it. So like that stuff helps me a lot. That's all helps you track your BBs a little bit.
Yeah. And also, like, to be fair, most of the time, especially in the summer months, I like to sneak around the woods. So if I can see who's in the village from behind trenches, that's even better because I can see you moving out there, but I can't always see your armbands because maybe your t-shirt's half covering it up or you're only exposing your face and I can barely see the corner of your armband. But if I have a 1:6, I can zoom in. Honestly, from using so many different magnified optics, the best magnification for Airsoft is 4X and preferably something that has interchangeable zoom. So like the Spectre DR is 1 or 4 LPVOs you can adjust in between. Like you'll probably see me having mine set at like 2.5. The ACOG, it's a vibe. Otherwise I would switch it out for the Spectre DR, but the ACOG has nicer glass.
Yeah, anything above 4 times, again, good for spotting. But like as far as like the ballistics of your BB, like you might zero your 1:6. You might zero it, right? But the moment you go out to 6 times zoom, because there's the hop up and because of the drastic variance because of wind and everything, like you'll not be able to really track that BB anymore.
Yeah,
it gets harder.
I use like 4X max usually.
Yeah.
And even then, like having the ACOG, I'm spotting targets with the ACOG. Unless they're really far away, I'm usually using the RMR on top.
What I really like about your thermal setup, it being in front of your 1.6.
It's a cheater vision.
It's like even at night, right? When you're shooting BBs, the BBs are kind of warm and you can actually see the BBs.
No, it's not that. It's the opposite. So thermals have refresh rates, much like monitors.
Okay.
Mine has it's either a 50 or 60 hertz refresh rate. Now, because of that, it's much like night vision. Instead of seeing color contrast, it's seeing heat contrast. So I'll have it set to white hot. Now, everything that's not hot is going to be gray or black. The BBs are a different temperature than the grass, and the grass is a different temperature than you. So the BBs aren't hot. They're just a different temperature, so it comes up as a different color. So if you pay attention to it, with my thermal as well as Richie's and Ryan's, you can too. You can see the BB flying for about the first 100 feet. So it is a way to help adjust your rounds. However, after about 100 feet, you can't fucking see that BB anymore because, again, it's pixels. It's a digital screen. You're not seeing it.
Have you been able to try, like, if you were looking through the thermal and you were pointing a laser at an object for a long enough time, if any heat
No,
from that?
No, nothing's going to come of that. You would need a different kind of laser.
Yeah.
I will tell you what I did find with mine is the ACOG, like real ACOGs, you can look through with night vision. So it'll actually magnify the image. The thermal sits in front of the ACOG. You can 100% with your night vision look through the ACOG that has a thermal in front of it, and it's just maximum cheater vision.
Really?
Yeah. Next night game, I'll show you. It's wicked.
Do you have whites or greens?
I have white tubes.
I wonder if that plays a factor.
Maybe. I've never tried it with green. But even when there was a summer, I tried the thermal behind a red dot, which doesn't work because it can't see through glass. But I have a flip to side. So I was running the thermal offset and a red dot. So I was aiming at you with the red dot and then checking over with the thermal. Instead of flipping my nods up to look through the thermal, I was just looking through it with my nods. And it works fine. Because even then for like Ryan and Little Dave have the Wilcox Oasis thermal. It has a night vision overlay version. So like in the settings, you just press a button and it knows you're going to be looking through it with nods. So now all of the heat is just an outline. So kind of like with the
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The
which-
enhanced night vision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like with the Cody, it'll have a night vision overlay for thermal.
Hmm.
It's cool. Once you start combo and stuff like that, it's like really super overpowered cheating.
Yeah, I mean, thermals and airsoft are cheating anyway, but in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I get it because I felt bad for one dude. I could see the crack in the wood on one of the building, and I was able to see him through that crack. I was like, okay, now I officially have wall hacks.
Yeah.
To be fair, when you are here at a night game running your thermal, the way that you just use it to stalk people.
Yep. I'm not trying to break the game. I'm usually just trying to get as much information as I can and then like maneuver on you.
Yeah, I played one game with thermals, and after that game, not here, but at an event, and it just made the game. It was like reading a book, but already knowing every detail of the story. It was silly to me. I mean, obviously in real warfare, we've talked about this a bunch. In real warfare, the ranges are increased. So, I mean, and obviously in real war, you want to cheat every way you can. But in a game where like really satisfaction comes from contact, right? But if you just have all the information, it's only a one-sided contact. And a lot of people, that's an ambush. And right, yeah, but man, you're taking away all the magic. You're taking away all the, the surprise and all this stuff. But that's just my opinion. I played that one event with it, and I could literally watch the other team get out of their sleeping bags, walk down the road, and I was like, in 3 minutes, there's 13 guys. I could tell what guns they had. I was like, oh man, this sucks, dude. I still have that thermal. I just never use it because
You can find where the poop is in the woods.
yeah, absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. You can also find when locals sneak onto the field at Panthera. At that same game, dude, like two guys
Just like snuck onto
from
the property.
who the fuck knows where came up. They couldn't see us because we were just night vision, right? And I was scanning. We were up on this hill. We had the Jeep parked up on the hill, and they were coming up the backside, and the town was like over here. And I was scanning, and then I looked, and there were two guys like airsoft gun range away.
Oh God.
My gun was over there, so I like.
Did they sneak on to try to play for free, or were they just random people?
So the day prior, there was some private security contractors doing training there, and just how they were dressed and how they were moving. I mean, they weren't like bounding or anything. They were just like walking up. I feel like that was them, and they were just curious about what was going on. However, in this event,
That's not cool.
it would be totally plausible for the other team to do a 13 county super flank because it was all in play and come up that way. It was just unlikely.
And they didn't have iPro on or anything. Yeah.
Only after so I'm looking and they're very close at this point, and I was like, oh shit. So I put the thermal down, and then I grabbed my rifle out of the truck, and when I brought it up, they were where that mannequin is. And so I was like, get wrecked, nerds. And I started shooting, and then everybody started running up the hill. And so now we got two dudes running through the field, and we just opened up on them. And
God.
And it wasn't until because all that happened in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't until after that where I really started to think about it. And I was like, they didn't have guns.
They weren't wearing gear.
Short sleeves and 5'11" pants. You know what I mean? Just rewinding the situation in my head. I was just they probably didn't have iPro on. And we just wrecked them. And then also the way that they ran, it didn't make sense for the game. And then they kind of went up and around, and then we saw a car. They turned on the car and then drove out. But I was like, what the fuck? So I radioed Max. I was like, hey, man, I think we had two civilians
Trespassing.
yeah,
That's trespassing.
I don't know.
Was this at Benghazi?
No,
No,
This
no,
was at an event there. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a 40-hour there. That wasn't
Arclight, was it?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was the Grimnir event at Panthera that you guys took the Jeep down to.
Yeah. Great event. Just that was just a weird thing that happened.
Yeah, that's
What the fuck.
odd.
Yeah. I never knew about that part.
Yeah. So But yeah, I used the thermal of that game, and that's when I decided I was like, this sucks. There's no mystery, like
It takes the magic out.
it does. It really does. And I understand why people use it, and that's fine. If you need that win, then go get that win, man. But it absolutely detracts from the user's experience.
I can see that.
Now, depending on what you want in terms, if your experience is just running up on people and mag dumping them, then sure, a thermal is going to be your best friend. But if your experience is the fight, you know what I mean? Like in a game like Airsoft, the more enjoyable for me, the more enjoyable fights are the protracted ones, not the ambushes that happen in 3 seconds. Like that. Yeah, like maybe you tactically moved well or whatever, but like the long drawn out fights where now you're maneuvering, now you're shooting on the move. Oh shit, fucking Jordan's hit. We got to drag him back and fucking reload. And now we're bounding back and now we're flanking. And like those to me are more enjoyable. And I feel like thermals just remove that.
That's kind of why I like having it on my rifle as opposed to like a Cody to me. Besides the fact that it has no range, you have that information the entire time. For me to actually use the thermal how it's designed, I have to bring the gun up, which means I now have to focus down that and essentially remove all, I wouldn't say peripheral vision, but all focus from anything around me to looking through that thermal device. It's an extra step.
Are thermals normie?
No.
Their price point puts them out of that. But yeah, I don't know. But again, I'm a dinosaur, and
yeah. Most of the time, I don't even use mine for night games here just because I wouldn't say it's too much, but it's not worth using for a night game here. I primarily use it for MSW.
Yeah. And so at the very least, right, you could say about MSW is that their like smallest AO is 1,000 acres or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
So,
and there's a lot of people there using thermals.
Sure. And
more and more.
Absolutely. It's the new night vision, right? So at the very least, when you're dealing with 1,000 acres, there's enough terrain in between you and them.
Oh yeah.
To maneuver. Now, you'd still be maneuvering well outside of BB gun range, but at least you still have that chance. But for any other game that's just kind of localized and it's too much information.
Yeah.
It would just get boring. I mean, I don't know. I don't cheat in video games, but I have to assume that people that cheat in video games have testosterone levels of fucking -2 because they're trash human beings. Yeah, fuck cheaters, dude. If you've ever cheated in an online multiplayer fucking game, you are literal human trash. Just gonna throw that out there. Sorry, that's a sore spot for me.
Shout out Kevin.
Unconfirmed. Fuck, I don't even know where it's going. The rage for fucking online game cheaters is...
Somebody pissed you off on Tarkov.
No, they're ruining Tarkov. They're ruining it because these fucking smart can't fucking deal with loss. They've never gone through anything hard in their life, and so they pick up this game because everybody says it's cool, and they get shit on. And so they're like, I don't know how to process. I have no tools in my toolbox, so I'm just going to pay some Chinese company to do fucking... give me cheats, which they pay monthly. It's a fucking subscription. So every fucking month, just to feel like they're not, they have to fucking pay $40, $50 because their mouth is not full of enough because they are giant pieces of shit.
I love how fired up you are about this.
Yeah, that will, I can't stand it. And it's human beings inside of, like they're just well wait we might have
hold on
not but I mean like they're less than they are fucking less than like no we're not gonna say that but they're mentally they're fucking they're fucking if a bear came out of the woods they wouldn't even try to fight it, like they would just let it eat them, like they're just fucking low T fucking newts, dude, like just subhuman. Sorry.
I loved that. Anger time with Dave. Do we want an Are You Normie segment?
We have philosophy with Dave, and then we have
angry rant.
I'm tired of dudes who like...
You know what really grinds my gears?
Yeah. I'm tired of dudes who want to be all tough and shit, but deep down they're just fucking bitches, dude. And that's a bitch trait. If you've ever cheated in a fucking video game, you have bitch traits.
That's Dave's hill to die on.
Telling you, dude. And yes, I am mad, right? Because Tarkov is amongst the myriad of things that's wrong with Tarkov. The cheating situation is fucking bad because the game is hard. It's punishing. It's a game where you have to get better. You know what I mean? And the only way to get better is to get your face blown off. And so people are like, I can't handle any sort of fucking struggle because I'm still milking my mom's tit. Like,
I love this.
Fuck, dude.
I love this.
Like those are people that you could stab in the shin and they will capitulate and like that's it. I'm done. No more fighting. Like they're weak. They're fucking weak. God, I need to stop talking before we just.
Well, it's past the first 15 minutes, so I technically don't have to bleep it unless it's egregious.
Totally fair rant. Totally fair rant.
Well, and the worst part is I see it like transitioning over into fucking airsoft, right? Well, these they can't handle it, so they just resort to this pure pussiness. And we're pretty good at nipping it in the bud, but it's like, my guy, you got. Like, it's just the way it is. It doesn't mean shit, right? It has nothing to do, It shouldn't bruise your ego at all.
That's why I stress the point that having a good gun will not make you a better airsoft.
No, it will not.
I got shot square in the back on Sunday. It was like the best shot I've had in a while. We were, it was one of those like, I can't believe that just happened. I'm fucking hit. Trying to bound back from the pressure treated buildings across the street from the hospital along the outside of the hotel, like towards Pennzoil, because we had contact rear. Some dude in the Connex, one fucking BB square on the strap of the H harness of my chest ring. I just felt it and was like, fuck, I'm hit.
Yeah.
I like fired 5 or 6 rounds at the Connex, turned to run around the corner of the hotel, got that BB in the back. I was like, damn it. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Zulu tourniquet, got right back in the fight. But
pay to win.
What if we had a segment that highlighted moments of humility in airsoft? Like airsoft humility. For example, no matter how good your gun is, if you are doing a night game and you have night vision and you have tracers, you'll be very humbled to see how every little thing will make your BBs deflect. You might be shooting at a guy in a bush, but when you see where the BBs go because they're glowing, it hits a tall blade of grass and just goes off on the side, or you hit a raindrop. Like you realize, like, oh, maybe, my gun can shoot 300 feet and that guy is 200 feet away. And but
the wind was blowing at the right direction at the right time.
Yeah, like the way the field's bank kind of set up, like it made your BB just go somewhere else. Like it's humbling.
Default setting mentally should be that.
Yeah, it should be.
And then but I have video footage and all this stuff. All the video footage I've ever watched of like, oh, this guy's definitely hit. You can't see the BB. There are so online, obviously, there's like where you can see the BB like hit and bounce off. That's pretty definitive. But like stuff here, it's.
Well, I had an interesting interaction with a customer on Saturday. So like that whole I hit you, you hit me, like bullshit.
Totally worth fighting over.
Yeah, no. But there was a customer here on Saturday and I didn't recognize him. He was a new face. And he complained. He was just like, Ref, I fucking shot that guy. And he hit me too, but I definitely fucking shot him and he got hit like 5 times and he's still playing. And I was just like, okay, I'll go deal with it. And I went and I stood next to that player he was talking about, and that player did get shot again and didn't realize. It was one of those like, because it was cold on Saturday morning, he was wearing a bigger jacket. Yeah. And like a BB just like flicked off of his jacket. And he like poked back behind cover and was like, he was looking at himself and he was looking at his gun. I was like, hey dude, you just got shot. He's like, did I? I was like, yeah, you got hit.
Evic made a video.
What are we looking for when we do that? Oh,
Evic
yeah, I don't know, but I see it all the time. But hold on, this is what I'm getting at. And then I went back to that customer that had complained, because me personally, when I'm reffing, if someone complains, I take care of it and then I follow up with them so they know their problem got taken care of. And I walked over and was like, hey, dude, I watched that dude. He did get hit again and he didn't call it. So I told him and I talked to him, and it's not going to happen again. He didn't know how to handle that, because he went from being angry to just like confused, because wherever he normally plays, that must not be the way they handle it, because he's like, oh, wait, what? And I explained to him, like, yeah, I went and talked to him, called him out on it. We talked. He's okay. He understands. Not going to happen again. He's just like, thank you. Maybe like he was so confused about it. So I don't think it's a norm in Airsoft for the refs to then follow up with customers like, hey, your problem was taken care of. Don't worry about it. Otherwise, he would have just been seething for the rest of that fucking.
Oh,
CQB
sure.
game.
And again, it's contagious, right? So.
Yeah. And that was the first game of the day.
Evic made a video, and I'm pretty sure I don't like it. I think it's actually bad science or whatever, right? But basically, like Evic Matt put on a bunch of gear, blindfolded himself, put ear pro on.
Oh, I did see this.
And then he stood there in a quiet room, no wind. He's not running around. He's standing perfectly still. And
Trying
he's
to
just
tell him
getting
he got shot.
and he's getting shot by different airsoft guns, and he has to raise his hand every time he knows he got shot.
It's like
and
the hearing test in elementary school.
the-
Did you hear that beep?
The idea of the test is to be like, oh, just because like you can be blind, deaf, and have a bunch of stuff on, and if you see somebody wearing all that kit, no matter what excuse they give you, they're intentionally cheating.
No, that's the
And
wrong.
I think I don't agree with that
He
because
should have been in a room with strobe lights going off and heavy metal playing.
And
Yeah.
also running on a treadmill too, up your adrenaline.
Yeah, like
Because it's
Yeah.
happened to me. Like, I mean, prime example.
that's like perfect conditions.
like run around, have your pants falling off because your belt doesn't fit, and you're wearing it for the first time that day, and you're uncomfortable, and you're sweaty, and you're dehydrated. Like it's not a fair test, and like I think it just eggs onto that call your hits mentality that I don't like.
So
It doesn't help. It doesn't
Prime
help.
example.
Yeah, call your hits does not help.
I'll rat on myself for a minute because this was an interaction where I didn't realize I got shot. It was the first gas blowback night at full auto. I was wearing my AVS with real plates in it and running around in a high tempo CQB area. There was music playing. Ian comes up to me at the end of the game and he just like knocks on my AVS. He's just like, oh, you got fucking real plates in there? He was like not trying to have beef, but he was trying to make a snarky comment. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's just like, oh, I shot you in the back and you didn't call it. And I was like, did you? Like, when? And he's like, oh, like 10 minutes into the game. And I'm like, are you sure? And his friend Carson comes up. He's like, yeah, he hit you. You just kept running. I'm like, I didn't even feel that. I was like, you should have said something. And as soon as I said that, they were like, oh, like you weren't being a dick about that? I'm like, no, dude. Like, I just didn't fucking feel it. Didn't hear it. I got contacts on too. Like, sorry, I didn't know. Like, next time that happens, just like say something to me. I'll call it. And they're like, oh, they were trying to have like that kind of interaction. I just went, yeah, man, it happens. That's Airsoft. Like, I'm not going to get upset about it, but yeah, sure. Just tell me.
When I did gas gun night at full auto, and this is not to say this is like a full auto problem or an indoor
No,
problem.
but that's
or
the only place
CQB
we played
problem,
indoor recently.
right? There was one guy that I traded with, right? And we traded instantly after the trade. Like he didn't even have time to call his own hit. I didn't like, it was just like, boom, immediately went up to me like that's a trade. Like you're going to call that, right? Like,
yeah, man.
Bro,
Like, holy
like,
shit,
Yeah,
relax.
like I've seen that.
Yeah,
And that's
like,
why I just
relax,
kinda, like,
dude.
laugh it off because that was the same thing I said to him. I was like, yeah, if that happens, just like fucking say something to me. Just let me know. Like, don't scream at me to call my hits, but like, hey, come over and just be like, did you feel it? Because
Yeah.
I hit you. I'm not going to argue with you.
You,
There's
like,
no
ran
point
up,
in arguing. It's
you ran
Airsoft.
up. I was just like, yeah, man, good trade, brother. Like, whoa, not cool, gang.
Yeah.
Got it in. But I've seen it, and it's not a full auto thing. I've seen it playing at other
Yeah, it's
indoor
not- it's
fields
not-
where
I don't-
you
I don't-
fire
yeah.
3 BBs and immediately someone screams, "Are you really not going to fucking
Yeah.
call that?" You're like,
I said that because I don't want anybody watching this to be like, oh, I guess that happens at full auto. Like,
No,
no.
I had
It was that one particular guy.
I've seen it here.
I had an interesting interaction, kind of question mark. So me and Josue went and played at Hudson Valley Airsoft when it was over at Paladin
Oh,
a long time ago. It was just like it was a
what
week.
year?
Oh man, it was
Like 2014.
no. I don't. It was like it was. I believe it was a weekday. And,
Okay.
You know, he lives over in Nyack, so it's like
I was just curious if I was your ref.
no.
Okay.
No. And well, we might have been here. You might have been working for me. But anyway, so we played, you know, and indoors, not really my cup of tea, but we played maybe 2 hours or whatever. And then I looked at Josue and I was just like, hey man, like I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, nothing egregious happened. It's just I don't like indoor. It's not my style. And so we're like packing up gear in the staging area, and then the ref comes out and he's like, hey, come here, guys. And we're like, oh, fuck, what's going on? We're like, we've been done for a while. And he's like, hey, man, got a couple complaints about you guys. And I was like, you know that we haven't been playing for like the last 30 minutes, right? Oh, yeah, this is from earlier. All right. Now I'm curious, what's the complaint? oh, well, a lot of the guys in there were saying that the Milsim guys aren't calling their hits fast enough.
It's an interesting complaint.
What? We are calling our hits, just not fast enough. And it's not like we're taking 3 business days to be like,
You got to phone a friend, ask the audience,
yeah.
50-50.
It's like bang, hit, and then walk back to respawn, which I feel like is appropriate.
Yeah.
You know, I usually try if I'm like running or anything and I get hit, I put my gun down as I'm slowing down. So I'm visually showing like,
it's
okay,
kind of hard to go from a full sprint to a dead stop.
sure. And then put your hand up and all this stuff.
Yeah, also people that normally play outdoors, like they do their habits, their muscle memory for calling their hits, right? It's like at a slower pace because it's outdoor. It's like people from the city coming to upstate New York and being like, everything's so slow up here.
Yeah, right.
Everybody takes their time.
I just thought it was an interesting.
That is an interesting
I was like,
complaint.
that's a new one.
Yeah, because like all my years of reffing indoor, that's not a complaint I dealt with.
No, it was a weird.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Fiddle.
plus, back then, if I would go there, I'm not going to say I had a target on my back, but I was definitely probably watched a little bit more closely, just given the histories of the 2 businesses. But it was just strange. It was just
That's
odd.
very odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
That's why acting out your death is the best.
It's not the best.
It's like it's not the best as far as like
Lay down, put a dead rag on, right? Visual indicator, and you're changing your shape.
We should do that. We should go to gas gun night and only act out our deaths.
like even honestly.
No, because like, okay, so I like full auto and I like their flare base. Totally different vibe. Like the last time I was there was a dude wearing like a trench coat with a gas blowback Saiga 12, and like his friend had all Deadpool themed kit, like red everything, like the mask and whatnot. So like they are not the players for acting out your death. So I could only imagine the reactions of like get hit, fucking slop against the wall and fall over.
They'd probably call a ceasefire and be like, oh my God, this guy's hurt.
It'd be so funny, just one game.
I don't know. If I get hit, I'm just like as instantly I can scream and fall to the ground quicker than I can get my dead rag out. And as I'm falling, I'm going for my dead rag. I don't want to get overshot on the ground.
You died 3 times in a row. You're pulling your martyrdom grenade.
No. Is it? Oh my God! Is it normie to have a martyrdom grenade?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
That was
no
a quick
death
one.
streaks in Airsoft.
Yeah.
Just like there's no kill streaks.
What about copycat? I'm gonna steal your loadout. Give me your gun, Jordan. Shot.
I was just
So
taking it home
bad.
to fix it, I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Segments.
Or do we acknowledge that this is the 4th podcast in 2 days and we
Yeah.
can wrap this one
I
up?
think we wrap this one up. I'm mentally drained. You're going to have a lot to bleep out on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, thank you for joining us on this cringy road that we have taken over the last 2 episodes here. One with gear, this one with guns. We apologize. It's just,
We got to get it out of the way.
it's a stepping stone that everybody has to do, and we felt like now was the time. But if you have any questions about our guns, our gear, or why you shouldn't be cheating in multiplayer online games, put them down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I actually don't care if you do that.
No, do that.
Sure, if you want to.
Do
right?
that. It helps.
And with that, good night. God bless. We're out.
Bully Grimner.